The Zonai, one of the greatest mysteries of Breath of the Wild, have been a subject of debate among the Zelda community ever since the game first came out. This warlike tribe, which built all the stone monuments scattered across Hyrule, most notably the Zonai ruins within Faron, the Lomei labyrinths in Akkala, Gerudo Desert and Hebra, the Thunder Plateau in the Tabantha region, and the Thiflo ruins, disappeared thousands upon thousands of years ago without any trace. But after overanalyzing everything that we know about them, the ancient structures, and other Zelda games for clues about who this mysterious tribe could have been, I've not only figured out who the Zonai tribe were, but also where in the timeline they existed, and how they disappeared. Although in-game there isn't much information regarding the Zonai, we can learn more about this mysterious tribe in the sourcebook The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Creating a Champion, in the section Ruins from Times Unknown, Mysteries of Hyrule. It has this to say about them. The history of the Zonai people has been lost to time. There are rumors that they were a savage tribe based in Faron, where the most substantial of the ruins are located. However, Zonai ruins, or ruins within the very similar characteristics, can be found in all parts of Hyrule. In addition to the massive palace in Faron, the Zonai ruins throughout Hyrule seem to have elements connecting them to the ancient shrines. The Zonai themselves are spoken of in hushed whispers as strong magic wielders who vanished suddenly thousands of years ago. The disappearance of the Zonai is one of Hyrule's greatest mysteries. I want to point out this line right here. The Zonai themselves are spoken of in hushed whispers as strong magic wielders who vanished suddenly thousands of years ago. This line is the key to finding out who the Zonai were. We know of another tribe of magic wielders that vanished suddenly thousands of years ago, the so-called interlopers. As told by the light spirit Lanayru, they were a tribe of magic wielders who used the fused shadow to try to take over the sacred realm and claim the Triforce during the Era of Chaos, the era in which tales of the Triforce spread across Hyrule and everybody wanted to claim it for their own. It was because of this immense dark power that the three golden goddesses ordered the light spirits to banish them into the Twilight Realm, where they eventually evolved into the Twilight. There is strong evidence that suggests that the Zonai tribe mentioned in Breath of the Wild are in fact the interlopers the great light spirit Lanayru told us about in Twilight Princess, and I'll explain why. The fused shadow, created by the interlopers, is built in a similar way to the structures found in Hyrule, made of stone and with patterns carved all over it. As stated in the book Creating a Champion, these spiral patterns seem to be the unique mark of the Zonai. It can be seen throughout the land. This very pattern is found carved and built on the fused shadow, on the tip of the crown, on the back, and carved all over it, and are prominent within the architecture of the Palace of Twilight itself, home of the Twilight, the descendants of the interlopers, carved on the walls of the palace, on Sans hands, prominent on the throne, and on the pottery itself. The fused shadows patterns also glow with an ethereal green light, much like this Zonai monument, which is built with luminous stones which only glow in the dark, implying that the fused shadow has some kind of luminous stones built into it. It is also interesting to note how this particular monument looks very similar to the Mirror of Twilight, and is fragmented into 4 pieces, exactly like the mirror. The book also states this about the Zonai. They are thought to have worshipped a water dragon, since the area has many rock carvings dedicated to such a being. The stone structure surrounding the Spring of Courage bears the face of a large dragon, and this place must have been a sanctuary for the Zonai as well. Many Zonai structures are built in the shape of animals, more specifically dragons, owls, and boars, representing courage, wisdom, and power respectively. It is interesting to note that the Zonai built structures of serpentine dragons, as the Twilight themselves have sculptures of serpentine dragons within their own palace, and there is no such beings in the Twilight Realm. The Thiflo ruins, found above the Great Hyrule Forest, is the most mysterious of all the Zonai ruins. These ruins are covered in a thick, black fog that shrouds the ruins in perpetual darkness. The origin of this dark fog is a complete mystery, but it is likely that it is in these very ruins that the fused shadow was created, either from creating that darkness and merging a portion of it into the fused shadow, or the darkness was caused as a result of creating the artifact. There is much more to the Zonai and the interlopers than meets the eye. If we look at the back of the fused shadow, we can clearly see an eye symbol with 3 small ovals on top. This is clearly the Sheikah eye symbol, but not the one we're used to seeing with the 3 triangles representing each of the Triforce pieces and a single tear at the bottom. This symbol has 3 ovals over the eye, and the pupil itself is not just an outline as seen in the normal symbol, but instead it is a filled-in pupil. This Sheikah eye is in fact an early design of the Sheikah eye, one which we have seen before, in the very first game of the timeline, Skyward Sword. Impa, Zelda's protector and servant of the goddess Hylia, has the Sheikah symbol on her forehead, though it is not 3 triangles that we see on top of the eye, but 3 ovals with the pupil completely filled in instead of being an empty outline, exactly like the eye of the fused shadow. In fact, if we get the Sheikah eye symbol from Impa's forehead, the Sheikah symbol from the seal on the sealed temple's door, which is a later version of the Sheikah eye symbol since Impa is from the past, thousands of years before Skyward Sword to be exact, and the Sheikah eye symbol from Ocarina of Time, we can clearly see how the symbol evolved over the ages, the Triforce pieces being added after, the shrills on the side becoming shorter, and the teardrop becoming longer, as if it were slowly falling over time. We know that before and during the events of Skyward Sword, there existed an entire tribe of Sheikah devoted to serve Goddess Hylia, despite the fact we don't directly see more than one, as Impa directly mentions them. This is the nature of the task given to my tribe. As a member of the Sheikah, the goddess's chosen guardians, I gladly welcome this duty. One of the most characteristic features of the Sheikah is the blood-red irises, which surprisingly enough is a feature they share with the Twilight people. Although the Sheikah have white hair from Ocarina of Time onwards, Impa in Skyward Sword is seen to have blonde hair, meaning that in ancient times the Sheikah most likely had more types of hair colors. It is also very likely that over thousands of years, all the Sheikah ended up with white hair. Remember that the Interloper War happened during the Era of Chaos, after the Era of the Sky, meaning the Sheikah during this time didn't all have white hair. The Interlopers could very well have been a faction of the Sheikah who went rogue. It wouldn't be the first time that we have seen this happen. The Yiga clan in Breath of the Wild were a faction of the Sheikah who defected to serve Ganon 10,000 years prior to the Great Calamity. I believe that prior to the Era of Chaos, and possibly even before the events of Skyward Sword, a faction of the Sheikah defected from the main group, calling themselves the Zonai tribe, exactly like how the Sheikah defectors in Breath of the Wild adopted the name the Yiga. I believe that the Zonai became much more barbaric and warlike, while continuing to practice dark and powerful magic. It is very possible that the descendants of the Sheikah defectors, now known as the Zonai, after they learned of the existence of the Triforce, sought to conquer the Sacred Realm with the magic of the Fused Shadow, but were defeated and imprisoned in the Twilight Realm, eventually evolving into the Twilight, which would explain why the tribe had disappeared from Hyrule. It is also very likely that the Sheikah tribe before Skyward Sword were the ones responsible for the creation of the ancient robots and the technology in the Lanayru Desert, which was once known to be a lush green field turned to sands through the use of this technology, seen by the eye symbol in the Timeshift stones, which is strikingly similar to the Sheikah eye symbol, which would make the Sheikah prior to Skyward Sword a highly advanced civilization. This would be an exact parallel to Breath of the Wild, where the Sheikah were a highly advanced civilization in the past, and a group defected becoming the Yiga tribe. The peaceful people of Lurelin village near the Sea of Faron are believed to be the descendants of the Zonai tribe, not only because of their proximity to the Zonai structures, but also because their homes possess the Zonai symbol and a variation of it on them. To further prove the point that the Zonai and the Sheikah prior to Skyward Sword were directly related, this variation of the spiral symbol with a sharp deviation at the end found in the houses of Lurelin village can also be found across the Lanayru Desert in Skyward Sword, such as the Lanayru Semship, and most notably the symbol on the ancient robots themselves. This isn't a simple coincidence. This symbol has been present since the very beginning. But there is more. We know of another tribe that mysteriously disappeared without a trace. They are simply referred to as the Ancient Tribe, and are most commonly known for being the creators of one of the most dangerous artifacts in the entirety of the Zelda franchise, Majora's Mask. The Happy Mask salesman has this to say about Majora's Mask. The mask that was stolen from me, it is called Majora's Mask. It is an accursed item from legend that is said to have been used by an ancient tribe in its hexing rituals. It is said that an evil and wicked power is bestowed upon the one who wears that mask. According to legend, the troubles caused by Majora's Mask were so great, the Ancient Ones, fearing such catastrophe, sealed the mask in shadow forever, preventing its misuse. But now, that tribe from the legend has vanished, so no one really knows the true nature of the mask's power. That tribe from the legend has vanished, just like the Zonai and the Interlopers. They were all known to be tribes to perform magic. They all disappeared without a trace. Majora's mask and the fused shadow share the exact same eye pattern, which is not a simple coincidence. It is very likely that Majora's mask was the tribe's first attempt to build an artifact to use to take over Hyrule, a first attempt to create the fused shadow, which became so powerful even they could not control it, which forced them to seal it away. The Zonai, the interlopers, and the ancient tribe are all one and the same. What do you think of this theory? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want me to cover more theories like this in the future, let me know. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos to come. Also, if you haven't already, consider following me on Twitter and Instagram at Zelda Lore 86. This has been Zelda Lore, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.